All right, guys, this next guest is someone that I have wanted to interview for a long time, been putting in work in the underground scene for years and has not gotten the appreciation he deserves, from Styles of Beyond to the Demigodz, Ryu.
What up? What up? What up?
What's good, bro? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm just glad to have you here. So with my interviews, I like to start at the beginning so that people can get to know who you are, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today. So you were born in New York, but you were raised in LA since the age of 2, right?
Yes.
Which part of
Yeah, I
LA did
moved
you grow
from
up in?
pretty much all over LA, LA County. I first moved to Van Nuys, which for people don't know, it's in the valley, but it's part of LA City. Um, it's kind of like New York in the sense where LA is broken up in a bunch of little neighborhoods. So I moved to Van Nuys. I lived in Canoga. I lived in Downey. I lived in Cerritos. I lived in Long Beach. I lived in Agora. I lived in San Dimas for a little bit. I just moved all over the place. But yeah, the valley is like what I call home because that's where I got my start musically. Well, Cerritos Cerritos in the valley in Canoga Park. That's where I got my start doing music.
Damn, so you lived all over. Like, so you were moving like what, like every 1 or 2 years or something like that?
No, like probably every 5 years or so.
Oh, okay. But like
Yeah, like it goes like we moved into an apartment in Van Nuys, and then we end up getting a house in Downey, and then as my parents started working and doing better, we would upgrade, and so we moved to Cerritos, and like Cerritos is kind of a hub for hip hop in itself. Anyways, that's kind of where I got my love for it. That's where all the DJs come from, Redmatic and all them beat junkies. They all come from Cerritos. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting because then you lived like in a good mixture of like really in the city, then like somewhat in the valley at times too. So like a lot of back and forth then, right?
Well, like I said, the valley is actually the city. Like people don't know that, but the valley is the city of LA. So it's kind of more urban, like the where I am now, like Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita's got a population of maybe like 400,000 people. So it's a big city to other people, but it's a suburb of LA and it's not very urban.
So did you grow up with any siblings?
No. Well, I do have 2 half brothers, but I didn't grow up with them. They're a lot younger than me.
Okay. So it was just you and your parents growing up for you mainly.
Yeah. I had like an adopted brother. Name was Trevor. And he lived up the street from me. He just passed away a couple months ago. That was the closest thing to a brother I ever had. So me and him grew up together. My family took care of him, and he took care of me as I got older. When my parents got divorced, I ended up moving with Trevor to Long Beach because he's older than me. So he took care of me in high school. So
rest in peace to him, man. I'm sorry to hear that for your loss.
Yeah.
How did your parents take him in? Like, what was the reasoning?
Well, he didn't have the best relationship with his parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to divulge his family business.
Right.
But yeah, we kind of took him in and helped him out, with school. He was very smart. He was a straight A student. And, we did everything to help him. And then in return, he did everything to help me when I was young and getting in trouble and all that kind of stuff.
How would you describe the household that you grew up in? Was it like traditional? You're Irish, right? Or Italian?
Yeah, Irish.
Irish.
Yeah.
Was it very traditional Irish household?
Yeah. Catholic, Irish Catholic, pretty normal. You know, pretty normal. You know, mom and dad stayed together until I was about, I don't know, like 13, 14 years old, maybe. And then things started getting a little wacky after that. I didn't really know. I felt like I had a lot of freedom because my dad wasn't there anymore. So I was kind of wilding out a little bit. And I did that for a good while.
So you took the split pretty tough.
No, because I wasn't sad that my dad wasn't there, because my dad was kind of like, I guess as a kid, like I felt like he was grumpy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say he was a bad dad. I loved him, but he was more the disciplinarian, maybe, like, or I was scared of him a little bit. So when he was gone, I felt like I had freedom to do whatever I wanted.
Got you. And what did your parents do for work?
My mom was a secretary for a bank. My dad worked at a store called the Broadway. It's like Macy's type of deal. He worked there, and then he ended up being a branch manager of a bank later on.
How would you describe yourself as a kid? Like, were you quiet, social? You were into school, sports, or just music early on?
No, I was in the I was into baseball, like really, really into baseball. Like I wanted to be a pro. That was all I cared about all day, every day, baseball. And then what had happened was I ended up getting pneumonia really bad when I was young, and I was like top prospect baseball pitcher, like lights out. And I ended up getting pneumonia, and I was in the hospital for a few weeks, and I lost a ton of weight. And when I got out of the hospital, like 2 or 3 days later was tryouts for baseball, and everybody was coming out to watch me pitch and all this and that. I ended up doing horrible. Everybody was hitting off me. I couldn't swing the bat. And I got so depressed because I was so used to being the best that I just quit. I decided I wanted to be a skateboarder. And so, yeah, that was that. I left baseball behind.
What age are we talking at this time?
Maybe 15 years old, 16.
Okay. Because like you said that you got into skateboarding at that time, because I've also heard you say that you were really big on BMX as well.
I was, yeah. So like I started off skateboarding, but I wasn't very good at it. So then I got into BMX. All my friends were into BMX. I mean, racing. And, we had in Cerritos, we had like a bunch of dirt jumps and stuff like that. We would go do that. We had a little crew. We would just like roll over town and cause havoc on our bikes. But bikes are like a man's first car, like I had a Robinson, which is like a Ferrari. So, and I still have I have 3 Robinsons right now. That's the first thing you start doing as a man. Before you get a car, you want to fix up your bike and put the right wheels on it and the color scheme and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was really into the BMX too, but more like of the aesthetics of the BMX, like the actual bike. Like racing wasn't really my thing.
So you're coming up in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Help paint the scene for us. You're a little kid, you're walking the streets. What is the environment like for you at that time that has helped shaping you into a person? What are you seeing?
Well, I used to go across the street to my man Mark's house, Mark and Dave, and he had a tool shed that we converted into like a man cave, and we had a little boombox in there. And back then in LA, we had a radio station called K-Day, 1580 AM, and we would sit in there and look at porn magazines and listen to K-Day. And then
Good times.
K-Day would say something like, oh, Ice-T's performing at such and such place, Compton, on Sundays. So we would like try to figure out a way to get over to Compton and go watch Ice-T perform in the parking lot of like a Popeye's chicken or something. Uh, get the Compton swap meet to buy tapes. So we should go to swap meet to buy tapes. Norwalk swap meet, Compton swap meet, all that. So yeah, there was a lot. Like I said, in Cerritos, in that time, it was a big DJ culture. So like everybody wanted to be a DJ. I don't know if that was just where I lived or everywhere, but everybody wanted to be a DJ. So I wanted to be a DJ. So me and my friends built like a coffin. I had one Technique 1200 turntable that my father had bought me for my birthday because we couldn't afford two. So I got one. And the other turntable was one of those like stacked stereos that has a turntable on the top. And then I had a mixer from Radio Shack. And I used to just open my garage and people would come over and DJ and rap or dance, whatever. You know, that was basically what was going on.
But your surroundings, was it like culturally diverse, like the demographics and everything?
Yeah. Like the city of Cerritos, where I was at the time, is literally the most culturally diverse city in the United States. It's like voted that. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, it's got the biggest population of like Asians, Indians, Hispanics, whites, blacks, you know, islanders, whatever. Everybody lived in Cerritos.
Mm-hmm. How was that like for you? How do you think that impacted you growing up around so many different kinds of cultures like that?
It was great because, you know, I learned something from everybody. So the Filipinos were all DJs and they all listened to freestyle music and they had their own mixtapes that would float around. So I got into DJing and like freestyle music, electronic music through watching the Filipinos. And then, you know, you can pick up this and that. You know, it was a weird mixed bag. Like we kind of dressed like white boy cholos, you know, but listen to freestyle music and like it, you know, like Pendleton's, Dickies, Vans,
right,
white beaters, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, it was cool though. Like everybody kind of mess with each other.
Would you say that there was a lot of crime in Cerritos at that time, or it was like suburbs?
No, you're not. It's hard to say when you're a kid because, I mean, I don't know the statistics on it,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it wasn't the ghetto by any stretch. It was surrounded by like active neighborhoods. I mean, Cerritos,
right,
kind of in the middle, Norwalk, Compton, Long Beach, Bellflower, Pico Rivera, like all that stuff kind of surrounds that. But it wasn't bad. There was gangs and shootings and things of that nature, but I don't remember it as being bad. Like I don't have bad memories of that.
right. So that element was present, but it wasn't like overbearing as like living in like Compton or living in like Long Beach per se. It was like it bled over into Cerritos, basically.
Yeah, you could say that. Like across the street from my house was a park. It was a really, really nice
Mm-hmm.
park. It had like a lake on it and all kinds of stuff. Like it was super nice. If you saw it, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna take my wedding pictures here. But also like this set from Compton used to kick it there. Like so the whole like back parking lot would be full of Crips and things like that. And like gang fights would go down over there and you know, things like that. So it was kind of disguised a little bit, but that's LA in general. Like LA, just like say somebody from the East Coast, they'll say, oh, this shit looks nice. You know, like how could this be bad? And that's kind of the setup. That's why they always get got when they come over here because they don't think they're in any kind of danger. So that's kind of like where I grew up. It like Cerritos kind of looks like every other neighborhood. You know,
People get
but
fooled by the palm trees and everything like that, and they
exactly
don't realize that people could get the drop on you at any second, pretty much.
right, 100% like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's Southern California shit. Like any neighborhood in Southern California is basically the same. There's a little bit more of it in some places and a little bit less in others. I've also lived in places that were great neighborhoods. I lived in San Dimas. Like San Dimas was great, but there's gangs in San Dimas too. Like I mean, I've lived in really nice places, and I've lived in not so nice places. That's the way it goes.
Was doing water buys. They was doing water buys at Raging Waters and stuff like that in San Dimas. That's how they was pulling up.
Probably. Shout out to San Dimas.
Yeah, for sure, man. So you started out breakdancing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just like
how nice were you? Like, are we talking like you was spinning on your head, nice, like like, or you was just like doing some floor work, kind of?
No, I wasn't that good. Like I was just doing it because like everybody was doing it. I was more like because like Michael Jackson. I was trying to be like Michael Jackson, like moonwalking and stuff. I used to dress up like Michael Jackson. I dressed up like Michael Jackson for Halloween one year. So. Like Michael Jackson was in the pop-in and stuff. I really like pop-in. I wasn't so much of a breaker, more of a popper.
Got you. Okay.
Well, I was whack anyways, though.
You got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
So were you into graffiti too?
Yeah. I'm still into graffiti.
How was the graffiti scene with the gang element in LA at that time?
At that time, it was kind of separate. Like, you know, people did graffiti. Like, not there's other like everybody thinks everybody that does graffiti is like some b-boy wearing shell toes and gazelles. It wasn't really like that when I was growing up. A lot of these dudes listen to straight up death metal. And they were graffiti writers. So it didn't really cross with the gangs. Like later on in the 90s, you started getting like tag banging and stuff like that. Then it got a little more serious. But I wasn't involved with things like that.
Got you.
I knew people that were, but that wasn't me.
So you have friends that were in the element and stuff like that, but like you were mainly focused on hip hop and your own thing.
Yeah, like I was kind of like the dude that rapped. So, you know, in any group of homies, you can have the dude, or you got your nerdy friend, you got your gangbanger friend, you got your graffiti writer friend, you got your money making friend,
right?
You got the one that gets all the girls. I was the rapper dude. That's it. And I didn't really try to play in other people's lanes. Like I just let them do that.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that from an early age that you were very self-aware, that you knew who you were? And like what that helped you like stay in your lane pretty much?
I knew what I wasn't. Like I knew I wasn't a gangbanger. Like I knew I wasn't a lot of things, but I tried a lot of different things to figure out who I was. So everybody goes through that time in their life where they're not really sure what they are. So they get influenced by what's going on, and you know, you try your hand at certain things, and you know, it guides you to where your natural path should be.
Right.
Like my point is like, you know, everybody's a gangster till real gangsters show up.
That's true.
So, and that'll tell you right there that this ain't for you, you know. And I've done a little bit of that, you know. So
was that like something that was really mind opening for you to experience something like that, like early on?
Yeah, it wasn't that deep. It was just like, you know, I've had a couple people close to me get shot and get killed. And you realize you don't want to run in them circles. Like even some of my best friends are running in them circles. and they're getting killed and stuff like that, I had to step away. Like I can't be around it. You know, like I'm not cut from that. And that's not to say I don't handle my own, or I haven't done some shit in my life. But you know, the quicker you're honest with yourself, the better off you're gonna be. Like, you know, or you're gonna be laying in a box next to him. You know, and I can say that now as a grown man. I wouldn't have told you the same thing 20 years ago. You know,
right.
Like 20 years ago, I'd have been like, "Fuck that, let's go."
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Ryu was actually the first Fast and Furious because his friend owned an import shop and would fix up cars. He was Brian O'Connor before Paul Walker. He was at Race Wars. Hector was going to be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. On top of that, he just came into Harry's and ordered 3 T66 turbos with NOS and a Motec exhaust system. So around this time, you start freestyling and discovering you have a true talent, right? And you're doing it at your friend's car shop kind of thing.
Yeah, my man Truman, he had a shop called PSI, and you know, he used to fix up import cars. And then at night, when the store would close, everybody would come over. We were right next to a liquor store too, so everybody just go get a bunch of 40s. And we would just drink, smoke, and freestyle, play beats and freestyle. Now, I didn't discover I had a talent. That was when my man Redeem, rest in peace, Redeem realized that I had some talent. So he was trying to get me to pursue it. But at the time, like it was kind of weird for like a white person to rap. Like, I mean, everybody did it for fun, but really like you had like Vanilla Ice and MC Search, things of that nature.
Marky Mark,
yeah. Like it seemed really far fetched at the time. So, but anyway, Redeem will call up all the radio stations and harass them to let us do like a drop for them, like a commercial. And so he ended up getting one with 92.3 The Beat. And so we went over to his cousin's house, Studio Steve. I believe that was in Inglewood, and we recorded it in his apartment. And that was the first time I ever recorded.
Now, when you're talking about, you know, you guys would rap and stuff like that, are we talking just like ciphers, or are you talking battles?
No, just ciphers, like, you know, just off the head, messing around, nothing too crazy.
And at the time, your like biggest influences is like Big Daddy Kane, right? Like he's like your favorite rapper.
Yeah, Kane's my favorite rapper of all time.
But you're also heavily influenced by Snoop at this point, or is that a little bit later on?
No, that's about the same time. Like when Snoop came out, I was living in Long Beach. And so like at the time, like nobody like Long Beach wasn't really on the map, like as far as rap goes. At that time. So when Snoop came out, it was like, oh shit, like he's one of us. So he had that real laid back, smooth flow. And so I would try to mimic that flow.
That cadence too.
Yeah, the cadence. Like if you listen to Doggy Style, like he's freestyling most of that album. That's just how dudes rapped, like in the neighborhood, like just off the dome, smooth shit. And
right.
So it wasn't just me, like everybody was trying to rap like that.
And it's interesting because you had a full circle moment later on in life, right? Where you helped with the song "The Weed Is Mine."
This weed is mine, yeah. Me and Apathy wrote that.
That's crazy, man. Like, wait, you guys wrote his verses, or like you wrote like the chorus, or what?
Oh, we wrote the whole thing.
Wow.
Well, except like Wiz Khalifa's on the song too. We didn't write Wiz Khalifa's part.
Right.
But yeah, like we just cooked it up. Like Snoop didn't ask us to do it or anything. We just, Scoop had the beat and he pulled it up and we just started playing around. We used to do like jokey songs and shit. And so, you know, App just started writing and shit, and then we would kind of bounce off each other and stuff. And we're like, yo, we should record this and send it over to Snoop. And that's exactly what we did. And he said, I'll pick it.
Wow. So your first rap name was Tiger Chan, right?
Yeah.
So how did you come up with Tiger Chan of all names?
Uh, well, my favorite movie back then, me and my friends, we used to watch this movie called Ninja Terminator. It's one of the best movies ever. And I'm not going to get into the details of the movie. Just go watch it, and you'll find out who Tiger Chan is. Tiger Chan is a guy in the movie. He wears a white suit and he has a blonde wig. And this was back like when Wu-Tang started popping off, so everything was like kung fu and shit like that kind of. So I took the name Tiger Chan, and like Ryu was kind of my nickname because my name is Ryan. So, but whatever.
But you were also into martial arts at that time. You were taking classes at like a dojo, right?
Yeah, I was actually, yeah, I was into karate when I was young. Karate, taekwondo, judo, all that. And so, Street Fighter, the video game, was really popular at the time. And there used to be a liquor store next door to the dojo. And we used to go in there and play Street Fighter, but I'd be wearing my gi from the karate school. And then my friends would come by to the liquor store, and I'd be out there with my uniform on. So that's why I was called Ryu, because of the Street Fighter game. But I'd also be walking around outside with my karate uniform on.
And you guys would be like freestyling over there too, right?
Yeah.
While you had the gi on?
Yeah, like somebody would pull up, be bumping something in the car, turn it up real loud, roll the window down. I'd be outside kind of kicking verses like outside of the car.
Now, in the past, you've described yourself as a bum ass kid and a loser in the past. Why would you describe yourself in that way?
As I was. I mean, from the time, like probably maybe 16 to maybe 20, 25, I was just a scumbag. Like, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but, I took a little side trip between that time, and I was doing some shit. So,
got you.
Well, I don't want my mom to see this and be sad.
Right. I got you. All right. Okay, so you end up moving to the Valley and you enrolled into City College where you took music classes to learn to make beats, right?
Yeah, I took an electronic music class. It was an introduction to electronic music, and that's where I met Takbir.
And what was your first impression of Talk when you met him?
Man, Talk was like, he seemed like a seasoned vet already. Like he was already like really good. Like he was like Black Thought level good. Like back then, I was just like freestyling dumb shit off the top of my head. Like I didn't really have a style of my own. I was copying like everybody else, and coming into my own. But Talk comes from a musical background. His whole family like is musical. I mean, he grew up with Divine Styler and Def Jeff and House of Pain and all these people. So he had influences early on. And, his brother had a studio, like a big ass studio at the house, like an official one. And so when I met him, I was like, wow, this guy's like insanely good. And we would go to house parties and stuff, and he would just tear people apart.
Wow.
Just battling.
So the voice, you and him have like very distinctive voices. You know what I mean? When you guys rap, like some of the illest voices, I feel like when you're just talking rapping voices, right? A lot of people may be able to write rhymes, right, but their voice, their cadence isn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys have like that, like, was that something you guys developed, or it was like naturally, like that's how you guys sounded early on?
Right. Yeah, it's just one of them things that happened. We happened to work well together. So we ended up doing a couple demos. So like Talk had tapes in his car. There'd be people coming to his house, like there'd be beat tapes all over the place. We have like Muggs beat tapes and shit like that. And and we had a friend, D Minor, who lived in Canoga Park, and he had like recording equipment, like 4-track tape recorders, stuff like that. And we would go over there and just record over beats. And Talk's brother Bilal ended up hearing it and said, you guys should work together. You sound good together. And so that's it.
Right, because you guys were like stealing some of the beats out of the studio, right?
Yeah. We didn't know whose beats they were.
That's crazy, man. So when his brother heard you guys, did his brother, because he did production for a lot of people like NWA too, right? Did he ever try to produce for you guys, or it was always like Cheap Shot? Because Cheap Shot was in the group before, and Styles Beyond before you were, right? They invited you to be in it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Cheap Shot and Talk. And then they invited me in, and Ben Scully later on. But what was your question? Bilal? Oh no. So like,
yeah,
Bilal did produce for us. I mean, he produced a couple joints for us, but I think he just let us do our own thing. Divine Styler ended up producing for us. Ben Scully, Cheap Shot handled most of the production.
Divine ended up being like one of your guys' biggest mentors, right?
Yes.
What was that relationship like when you met him? Like, how did that form?
I mean, to me, when I met Divine was a superstar. Like, because like Ain't Saying Nothing was one of my favorite songs way before I even knew Divine. And then I met him, and you know, Divine had a certain like aura about him. Like he was kind of like Yoda, you know, like, and he knew everything, and you know, he kind of, you know, taught me anyways, like how to navigate this shit and what to do, what not to do. And we kind of share, me talking Divine, share a brain when it comes to the type of beats and the type of swing we like in our music. And so, yeah, it was just like a natural fit.
So when does Scully get, Vin Scully, when does he get into the picture?
So after we recorded like our initial demos, Bilal ended up meeting Vin Scully's sister, who was a waitress at a bar around the corner from the house. And, you know, they started talking, and she said, oh, my brother does music. Vin Scully, Jason, was working with another group at the time. Jason I'm going to call him Jason. His name is Vin Scully.
12 p.m.
And he had his own studio. And so Bilal gave her his number and said, have your brother call me. And so he did. And he said, I'm going to send my brother and his boy over there to check out some beats. And it turned out it was like right on the other side of the block. So we went over to Jason Vin Scully's house, and he had this like really dope studio. His whole garage was transformed into a studio, but like a real studio. Graffiti all over the place and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, he played us some beats, and we liked all of them. So we just started going over there and recording. And we weren't recording for any other reason, we were just doing demos, basically. We didn't have an agenda.
Right. So going back to the 92.3 The Beat conversation, right? You guys were doing drops at the time. You guys would go up there, do some freestyles. You played some of the demos for DJ Revolution, who was working there at the time, right? So we're talking the height of this time was like where 92.3 and like Power 106 are like what the top radio stations in the LA area, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, there was that, but then there was also KXLU. I don't know if you remember that. It was a show called They Came From Beyond with Mike Nardone. And that was a AM radio station, I believe. And so that was like the hip hop channel. It was at Loyola Marymount University. And they would play super underground stuff that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. And so my man Redeem would, of course, call up and, you know, bug Mike Nardone, and Mike let us come up to the show first. That was the first place we went before the 92.3 and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we ended up getting a relationship with Mike Nardone. I'm still cool with Mike Nardone. Shout out to him. And then later on, we got invited up to. We didn't actually. I don't know if we got invited or Redeem just pushed the damn door down every time. So yeah, we ended up doing a drop. For another. I forgot what the name of the show was. There was a whole bunch of hip hop shows at the time, but yeah, that's where we're doing a bunch of drops.
But DJ Revolution, he proposed the idea to help you guys put out the music, right? Because he was connected to a distribution company.
Right. So, yeah, we were up at the radio station one night, freestyling, playing our drops. And then we actually played a demo. I think it was Killer Instinct or something. And so after that, Revolution kind of talked to us. He was like, what are you guys doing with this stuff? And we didn't have any plans whatsoever. We had no idea how to put out a record. And he said, well, I work for a distribution company. If you guys want to put out a record, we could do it. And so Bilal and them started talking, Bilal and Divine and Abdullah and everybody else started talking to him to get a situation going. So they started a record label called Balan, which is Bilal and Sean Berman together as Balan, to put out a Styles of Beyond album. So then we had to start working on an album.
Got you. So back then, was there a divide between like the Valley and just like other parts of LA? Did you guys feel like, because I've heard you also say in the past that like there was a lot of rappers from the Valley, but they were embarrassed to rep it.
Right. Because it had the connotation of like, rich, upper class, people, but that's not the case. Anybody, you don't have to be poor to be a good rapper either.
Right.
There's that part. So the Valley, for the most part is middle class. And I don't know if you get a lot of street cred out of middle class. So people wanted to be from the tougher neighborhoods, but that's why we called one of our albums like Reseda Beach, because we always kind of felt like we were on an island, because we didn't really mess with a lot of the other rappers. Not that we didn't like them or anything. It's just our paths didn't cross because geographically we were on the other side of the hill. So we always thought we were kind of on an island.
So when you guys start working on the album, right, this is what is going to be the first album, right?
Yeah.
2000 Fold?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when do you end up meeting Mike Shinoda?
During the recording of that album. So I met Mike Shinoda through my friend Double O. Double O also features on 2000 Fold. So I had met him and he was like, yeah, you should meet my friend Mike. He has recording equipment and stuff like that. And so I went over to Mike's house and he had a little 4-track recorder and a little, Dr. Rhythm drum machine. And we did the song Marco Polo at his house that ended up being on the album. So yeah, we met him a long time ago. That was before Linkin Park.
What year are we talking?
Anything.
Like 95?
97? Like 96, 97?
Wow. And what was your first impression of him?
He was cool. It wasn't really like, I don't know. Like just when you meet anybody, you're just like, yeah, what's up? You like hip hop and graffiti? I like hip hop and graffiti. Let's go.
Right. And Mike, he was such a talented guy from like early on, from just artistically, right? Because he really helped you guys as far as you gave him the Ohm symbol and told him to turn it into the Styles of Beyond logo, basically.
Yeah, he did our logo for us. He did him and Johan. They did a lot of work for us. Like they put our posters together for us, photo shoots, things of that nature.
But it was Divine Styler that did the album cover, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Wow. So at the time that you meet him, this is before Linkin Park, but you were there for like every single iteration of that group pretty much, because it started out as Zero, then it became Hybrid Theory, and then finally Linkin Park, right? So
Right.
what was it like for you working just musically on your guys' album and then watching him do his thing with that group over there?
It was cool. Like, but back then, like we didn't have any expectations. So when when Styles Beyond started to get a name and Linkin Park started to get a name or Hybrid Theory started to get a name, it wasn't like a big celebration. It wasn't like, oh shit, watch this. Like these guys are really balling up. It happens like in little increments. And then, by the time they blew up, they were out of here. We didn't see them for a couple years after that.
Yeah, because like you guys would be heavy supporters of each other, right? You guys would be performing some nights at the same, like,
yeah, we'd be on the strip,
but like,
yeah, we would do. I remember one night, I think they were doing the Roxy and we were doing the Whiskey, and things like that. We were coming up at exactly the same time.
What was the first song that you guys recorded? You and Mike was Whatever the Fuck?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that's crazy. And that was where anything that would come up is what you guys would rap about, pretty much.
Yeah, it was kind of just like a drill, like
a lyrical exercise.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't think about it too. I still do it to this day. You just the first thing you think about, put it down and start putting the puzzle together in your head. Don't think about it too much, because you could overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we did. Me, Mike, and Double O.
Dope, man. So you guys had a few labels interested in you, including Interscope Records, but you guys went with Dust Brothers, right?
Yeah, because we thought the Dust Brothers would be a better fit for us because of their connection to the Beastie Boys. So, they're kind of doing their own thing over there, and they played by their own rules. And we didn't think we would fit into a label structure like a traditional label structure. We wanted something a little outside of the box. So we decided to go with the Dust Brothers.
But at this time, though, Interscope has had some pretty good success, right? But it was just that the fact that it was a major.
No, like they didn't have like a ton of success. I mean, the success that they had was like
Death Row.
Yeah, it was that kind of stuff. So that didn't really apply to what we were doing, And you don't know what you don't know back then. Like we were like, oh, well, we're not trying to be like Death Row or anything, or we're not trying to be Rico Suave or anything like that. Like, because I had Gerardo too. So you see the Beastie Boys on one side and like Rico Suave on the other. I'm like, all right, we're gonna go with the Beastie Boys. No disrespect to Rico Suave.
Right, because hip hop was really shifting its sound during this time, and like you guys wanted to stay true more to that grittiness, right?
Yeah, we wanted to be able to do what we wanted to do, and we wanted to be with some like-minded people, and the Dust Brothers being, good producers, we thought they would be a good match for us.
So the album comes out in 1998, but there's some reissues of the album. There's a non-explicit. There's what is the whole story about that album?
So we initially released it ourselves through Balon Records. That was just completely independent and funded by Takbir's family, which his father Abdullah. Now, Takbir coming from a Muslim family, Abdullah said, "I'll put the record out, but you guys got to do me a favor and have no cussing on the album." So we agreed, and we took all the cursing off the album. And the record wasn't sample cleared or anything like that. So we had more songs on the original release. And when we got picked up by the Dust Brothers, they licensed the album, re-released it. But it had like one or two less songs because we couldn't clear the samples.
Right. Wild Style and Many Styles was taken off.
Yeah, Wild Style was just a skit. And then Many Styles is a song that we did with DJ Revolution.
Mm.
And there was just too many samples in there that we couldn't clear. So we had to take that one off.
And then the intro was originally called Exile, and that was just changed to just intro after, right?
Yeah, that was done by Exile, DJ Exile, the producer.
Got you. Okay. How did you feel about the way that album came out?
It was crazy because we did like I said, when we were recording it, we didn't really know we were making an album. We were just making demos. And so, you know, when they were like, all right, well, we need an album. Let's take these songs, put them together and see what we got. They were like, all right, cool. We'll put this out. And I was kind of like, oh, hold up. These are just our demos. Like these they're not that good yet, you know, like, and they were like, no, it's good. Like, so next thing you know, like it's going to press. And I'm like, oh shit. Like this is the first thing I've ever recorded. Like it's going to get ripped. Like people are going to like slaughter this album. And so I just let them do it and just, you know, I was preparing for the worst, like just to get dragged, you know, for being a whack or whatever. But it ended up having a great reception.
Yeah, because you guys were still learning like how to like structure songs basically at that time, right?
Yeah, we didn't really structure songs. We just did whatever we wanted. And that was cool. Like it was more like from a lyrical standpoint, like I wasn't that sharp yet. Talk was, I wasn't.
So at one point, you guys actually co-headlined with Eminem.
Yeah,
on some shows, right? Or is it one show or a couple?
We did a couple things together. We had Eminem come out on our shows too. Like he did like a little freestyle interlude at our show where he would come out. Cheap Shot would just drop beats and he would freestyle. He'd make people in the audience like hold stuff up and he would freestyle about it. So yeah, like when Eminem first came out to LA, we were kicking it a little bit. We went to his first video shoot. I forgot the name of the song. Maybe it was
wait. Are we talking about this is around the time of Rap Olympics or this
yeah.
So this is like 96.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, like we were at his first video shoot for I Just Don't Give a Fuck. And I got him on the Wake Up Show. His people called me and asked if I could get him on the Wake Up Show. I called Carmelita. Carmelita let him come up to the Wake Up Show. That's how he even got on that.
I thought he got on the Wake Up Show from being the runner-up in the Rap Olympics. That's what they say.
That could have been true as well. But definitely, his people definitely called me. And I definitely called Carmelita and I said, hey, can you get this dude up to the show?
Wow.
That happened for a fact. Now, there could have been other ways he got up to the show as well. But I'm saying like, and I'm not trying to take credit for it. I'm just saying that shit happened.
So what was the relationship like? Because you guys performed like at the Whiskey and everything. Like it was just like a lot of ciphering, or you guys had like conversations about where you guys were trying to go, like musically.
What are you talking about? Styles Beyond?
Like Styles of Beyond and Eminem. Like, did you guys like have like a friendship of some sort? It was just like, because you said you guys used to kick it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like we weren't like tight or anything like that, but we were starting to kick it a little bit. Like, I mean, he knew who Styles Beyond was, and you know, we tried to use whatever leverage we had at the time to get him in the door at clubs or, you know, little functions and stuff like that. Because like our manager at the time, Evan Bogart, was cool with him too.
Oh, wow.
Like Evan was like, I don't know if he was managing him or trying to manage him or something like that. A lot of people I knew him. And so this is before like Hi, My Name Isn't Anything came out.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it wasn't like a big deal.
Infinite and Slim Shady EP, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we would kick it in the like dressing room and stuff like that, and you know, at shows, and you know, he was cool. He was a funny dude.
When you first heard him rhyme, did you know that he was going to be a superstar, or like you just thought that he was really good?
I didn't. I thought he was really good. I didn't know if he was going to be a superstar. You know, like I said, because he is white. Like
Right.
I didn't know that. I didn't know a white person could be a superstar, like to that level at that point, you know. But once he got with Dre, like I knew that was it. Like he was gonna blow. Like after that, once I heard How My Name Is, that was it.
But you know, Shade 45 actually has shown you guys love over the years too, though, right?
Have they?
I mean, I feel like, you know, well, maybe it's just because they're willing to play like your guys' music as opposed to like regular radio. You know what I'm saying? Like where regular radio is like restricted to what they can play.
I mean, if they did, big ups to them. I've never heard any Styles and Beyond records on there before. I know they've been playing my new stuff because I see the playlists on there. Well, hell, big up to DJ Eclipse. And if they played it in the past and I haven't heard it, then big up to them for that. That's dope. Yeah. But I've never actually heard it. Well, like Rude Jude used to play my stuff from time to time.
Now looking back in retrospect, right? Because like every white rapper gets compared to Eminem, basically. How is that like for you as a white rapper?
I don't think anybody compares me to Eminem. I've never heard it. I mean, other than like white ladies when they go like, "Oh, you rap? You mean like Eminem?" Yeah, like Eminem. That's it. That's as far as the comparisons have gone. But I've never really heard people, because we don't sound anything the same.
But I mean, like, you know how like they use him like the measuring stick, basically, like kind of like of success.
They did back then, but he's so far out of here. Like you can't measure anything next to him. He's so out of here, you know?
Yeah.
There's
for sure.
There's nothing close.
It's actually hard to compare anybody to him.
You're still there?
Regardless of race, basically.
Sorry, say that again. You cut out a little bit.
I said it's hard to compare any rapper of any race to his level of success, pretty much.
Right. It's kind of stupid anyways. Like, I don't know why we need to compare everything to everything. Like the white rapper list. Those are the craziest ones.
Right. In 2000, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 comes out and your guys' song Subculture appears on it. How did that come about?
I don't really know. Somebody submitted it to somebody and they picked it up. But I'm not sure how that ended up going down. But it did help us out a lot because
But what was...
What you say?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It helped us out a lot because it got us in with the skater crowd. Like they loved it.
Right. And the crazy thing is that there are people that know every single word of that song and they don't know Styles of Beyond, like the name necessarily, but that was a part of their childhood and they know like every word from that song from playing the game.
Right.
So what was your guys' reaction when you were told that your song was going to appear on the video game?
Well, I don't remember. I mean, I think we were excited about it, I guess. I mean, I think I was more excited that they're going to give me a free copy of the video game. Like I didn't, everything was new to me. So I didn't know what to expect. So I had no idea. I was just like, oh, cool. You get a free video game. Awesome.
Wait, so you guys didn't get a royalty check or anything like that out of that?
I never got a royalty check out of that.
That's insane. That game has sold so many freaking copies. That's wow.
I don't recall getting anything from that.
That's crazy, man. And the dope thing about that game, though, is that there was a lot of like underground music, a lot of underground hip hop on that soundtrack too, though. You know what I mean? Like High and Mighty was on there.
Yeah, probably because like it's cheaper to license from us than it would be like Snoop Dogg, you know?
Right. But I've also heard that Tony Hawk is a big hip hop fan too.
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah. But man, somebody's got to find out how come you ain't getting no check from that, man.
Well, I don't know. Doesn't matter now. It's not like they're holding it for me somewhere.
But I mean, like for example, like, cause there's other times that your guys' music appears on video games too, right? Like in 2004, WWE Raw versus SmackDown comes out, and your guys' song "Superstars" appears on it. So you guys didn't get a check from that one either?
Yeah, we get checks from that.
Oh, you get checks from that one. Okay, so that's good. How did that one come about?
Oh, I don't know. Like that's like back channel shit. Like I don't know. Like they just kind of tell me, oh, you want to license it for this? You know, yeah, okay, cool, whatever.
Because then they ended up licensing it to a couple of WWE games too, right?
I think, I don't know. Like, I don't really follow all the stuff that it gets licensed for.
Got you. Okay. And then in 2005, Need for Speed Most Wanted comes out, and your guys' song 9,000 appears on it.
Right.
And do you get royalties from that one?
Yeah.
Dope. That's dope, man. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the details. I don't know. It just happens.
But, you know, for you guys saying to up to that point, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are experiencing, what would you classify it as, pretty much like moderate success? Because it's not like on a underground level.
Yeah, it was moderate.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting better and better.
But wasn't it just such a cool thing, the fact that you guys had your music in video games, though? Like, that was like,
yeah, that was super cool.
You know, a part of like people's childhoods, pretty much. You know, they're hearing your music there. Yeah,
that was super cool, especially like playing like Tony Hawk. That was a great game, anyways, and to be able to skate to your own song was super.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because I think that, like, even when they reissued the Tony Hawk 1+2, right? The more recent one, they kept your guys' song on there.
Well, yeah, they had to relicense it again.
Yeah.
I got to check that time.
Oh, you got to check that time. Okay, that's good then. So, when did you first meet Apathy and Self-Titled?
I don't know. I got a foggy memory, but I would say around probably 2002, 2003, something like that.
2002 is when the Demigodz is Back EP comes out. So you're on there with 3 songs, right?
I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was maybe around that time, 2000. Yeah, probably 2002.
Online it says it's like 2001, 2002. So I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's about right.
Obviously before Megadeth, though.
Yeah, or like right around the time we were recording Megadeth, whenever that was, 2003, maybe 2002. I don't know, somewhere around there.
And how did that come about that you guys met them?
I feel like Cheap Shot had known him first, and we were at Vince Scully's house recording, and then Cheap Shot was on the phone, and he just passed the phone to me, and I talked to App because I didn't know about their music prior to that. But Cheap Shot played me some shit, and he was like, yo, I think we should fuck with these guys. Like, they're dope. And they were really, really dope. So I was like, let's get them on the album.
And this is the days of basically forums and like AOL group chat and like, you know, chat rooms and everything like that, right? So is that how Cheap Shot met Apathy in them?
Maybe. Probably. You'd have to ask Cheap. I don't really know, but I imagine so. But Cheap Shot was more like, you know, he's a DJ. Like, he fucks with a lot of different people, and you know, he gets like vinyl in the mail sent to him and stuff. Like, so he was in contact with a lot more people. And Cheap Shot used to DJ at radio stations and shit. So who knows? I don't know how he worked that out.
When did the talks of you joining the Demigodz start?
I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't think it was that deep. I think it was like, yo, you should be in the Demigodz. Okay, cool. That was it. I know.
But it was like shortly after you guys met, pretty much?
I think it was a couple years. I mean, but we didn't have some like backdoor like La Cosa Nostra ceremony where I had to drip blood on a ace of spades or something. Like, I didn't I don't remember anything like that. It was just probably app just asked me, and I was like, okay, cool.
So when you appeared on the Demigodz is Back EP and did 3 songs for that, you were considered in the Demigodz already then at that time? Or you were just featured on the album, on the EP?
I don't know. You didn't ask App?
We didn't get to that part yet.
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. Like, I don't remember.
Okay, well, something that was interesting, right, is because it seemed like Talk was like appeared on some affiliated tracks with like Demigodz Clap off of Self-Titled's album, right? And he was like extended family, but he wasn't like on Killmatic or anything like that. Like, was Talk like not officially a member like you were of the Demigodz?
I don't know. I think he was, but it's just I was tighter with Self and App than he was. Like Talk did his own thing, and I think he moved out of the country too. He still may be out of the country. Like, he wasn't in the United States for a long period of time, so he wasn't around like I was. You know, me and App and Self just, you know, we clicked as friends, and I think Talk was more in it on a rap level.
Got you. Okay.
You know,
so you guys had more like a natural like chemistry of just being friends, and then like work just happens to come up, and then obviously it's a natural flow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, won't you get on this song and everything?
Right.
Got you. So in 2003, you guys released the album Megadeth. Why was there such a long gap in between the 2 albums?
Well, because we were signed to the Dust Brothers, and then they lost their distribution or something like that. Or I don't know, or that their company shut down. Like, they shut down their record label that we were on. So we had got moved over to Hollywood Records. And at the time, Hollywood Records was like Britney Spears and shit like that. Like, it wasn't a place where we wanted to be. So we were trying to get released out of that deal to get a better situation, because we didn't like, nobody over there was really fucking with us. Rightfully so. I mean, they got Britney Spears and shit. What do they need us for? So yeah, it just took a long time to get out of that, and it was really kind of wearing us out.
When you guys were over there, though, like, you guys were working on a different album, right?
Well, we started working with Divine on a whole other record. Oh, I forgot what it was called, but we just started doing a lot.
Something, right?
Terraform.
Yeah, Terraform.
So we started doing records with Divine, and we got a few in that, and then I don't know what happened around that time. So yeah, I don't know what happened with that. It wasn't a whole album. There was just like a few songs.
But you ended up not liking the album Megadeth. Why is that? Like, what was it about the album you didn't like?
I don't think it was authentic. I think it was too much tough guy shit going on. You know, I think we were angry at the time because of the situation with the labels and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, like the climate of music changed between 2000 and Megadeth. And I think like we were maybe trying to be a little more commercial or up to date instead of sticking with what we do. And that's not to say that it's a terrible album, because there's songs on there like it's cool. It's just not my favorite.
Got you.
But some people love it. That's some people's favorite style to be on out.
Well, yeah, the climate, like you were saying, was changing at that time, especially from a commercial standpoint, because then you had like 50 coming out, right? And like hip hop was getting hardcore again in that way, as far as from Ja Rule and everybody, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's interesting. I thought it was really interesting when I heard you say you didn't like Megadeth, because for like a casual listener that might only know you guys, not saying me, but I mean like a regular person that might only know you guys from Fort Minor, they might remember the song, remember the name, and hear I think Talk said what came back, dropped Megadeth, and took him to church, right? So like they might think that you guys really valued that album like that, you know?
Yeah, we were faking like we did, anyways.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know how they feel about it. It's just not my favorite album. But
how do you think that it was received by everybody else, though? Like as far as like the public?
I don't know, man. I've always been really bad about judging what other people think. Like our first album's considered like an underground kind of classic record, and I had no idea till like 10 years after the album. So I just don't pay attention. Like I don't know what people think about anything. I don't know if they like it or if they hate it. That's none of my business. I've always like stayed away from it. I think subconsciously I just don't want to know, you know.
So when the Demigodz were beefing with like Eastern Conference Records and everything, like you guys never got involved with any of that because that was like a little bit before your time, right? Like you guys came in like kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah, that was before us. I didn't really even know much about it until we ended up going on tour with Cage. And then when we were on the tour with Cage, they told me about it.
Cage told you?
No, Self told me.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't like a big deal. They weren't like, yo, dude, like fucking don't hang around with that dude or let's snuff him or anything like that. It was fine. Like I think it was kind of maybe dead by that point or dying out. I don't know. So we just didn't get involved with that.
You toured with Cage like what, around 2003 when Megadeth first got released?
Yeah, when Megadeth dropped, we toured with Swollen members in Cage.
What was your interactions like with Cage?
Oh, they were fine. Like they were minimal, you know, just dressing room type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't really kick it or nothing like that. But yeah, it was very minimal.
And did you ever have like any interactions with other people from Eastern Conference over that time period or more, you know, later years?
Not that I know of. No, I don't think so.
Got you.
I don't know anybody who's on Eastern Conference. Is Cage is on there?
Cage,
and High and Mighty,
Copyright, High and Mighty. You know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know who those guys are, but I don't personally know them.
Got you. Okay. In 2005, the Fort Minor We Major mixtape comes out. Less than a month later, The Rising Tide comes out, and you guys are featured on 5 songs, including Remember the Name, Feel Like Home, There They Go, Right Now, and Believe Me. Remember the Name was huge. It ended up being used in all these sports, television stuff, I think video games, right? Like, what was that experience like working with Mike on Fort Minor?
Oh, it was cool. Like, you know, we got to travel the world, first class style, nice hotels, shit like that. Like we never done that before. It was always riding on vans and shit like that. Oh fuck, I almost fell on my glasses. You know, sleeping in shitty hotels and stuff like that. So this was a fun experience for us.
So during the producing of the album, was it just like, you know, like he told you like get on these amount of songs or like you guys had input on other stuff that he did on the album? Like how did it go?
No, he would basically he had the beats and he'd give us the beats and say, you know, write to these ones, and we would, and then we'd link up at the studio and drop our verses. But we didn't have any input in that whatsoever.
So you guys didn't like help him co-write any like his verses or anything like that, or give him ideas for songs?
No, he wrote all that himself.
Wow. And Jay-Z was the executive producer of that album. Did you guys have any interactions with Hove?
We did, yeah. Yeah, we hung out with Hove a couple times. And he was always really cool. And he liked me a lot too. I'm not gonna get into that. But like, yeah, Hope was super cool.
There was a time that you guys hung out with him and well, Diddy was there too, right? And like a whole bunch of other like people, famous people were there.
Yeah. Mike had asked me to go with him to the House of Blues because Jay-Z was performing, and I had At was staying at my house at the time. I think we were working on the Get Busy Committee album, and so me and At went to meet up with Shinoda. We watched the show, and then after the show, Jay-Z wanted to go out to dinner, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." And Mike was like, "Nope, ain't gonna do it because by the time we get out of here, it's gonna be fucking 2:00 in the morning." We were supposed to travel somewhere, or he was supposed to travel somewhere. He's like, "I tell you what," he's like, "let's just go backstage and we'll just say what's up and then we'll take off." I said, "All right, cool." So that's what we did. Me, Mike, and App walked in the dressing room, and it was Diddy, Hove, Beanie. I feel like Jermaine Dupri was there. Maybe somebody else. And that's it. And we chopped it up. We said hello and kicked it for a little bit and then left.
I don't assume that you're a person that gets starstruck easily or anything like that.
I am by Hove. Everybody else, not so much. But when you meet, dude, like we did our record release party at the 4040 Club. And it was a private party just for us. And so I'm sitting there, like it was like you walk in and it was just bottles of Cristal or Ace of Spades. It was Cristal at the time, I think. Just bottles and bottles and bottles all over the bar. You could just grab a bottle and just walk around with it, whatever. So that's what I was doing, just downing bottles of Cristal. And I go over to talk to Jay-Z. And as I'm talking to him, there's like a little booth in the club with like a curtain. And as I'm talking to him, Beyonce comes out. And he's like, "Oh, have you met B?" And I was like, "Oh, shit. She looks like she's covered in glitter."
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So like it's stuff like that. Like you got to get kind of starstruck by that kind of shit, you know?
Right. And I mean, like Jay-Z, like he said that you were nice. Like he was a fan of your rapping, right?
Yeah.
I like what he said on the album. I think, is it the intro or the outro? Probably the intro, right? Where he says that like what you do is underground hip hop with big sound or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe. It's been a long time.
Yo, they gonna get on you in the comments, bro. They're gonna be like, "Yo, Ryu, how come you don't remember a lot, man?"
I don't know. Like, I don't pay attention. Dang. I'm trying my best, but you're asking good questions, but this shit that like I don't usually get asked, so I don't, I don't have it on the tip of my tongue, like ready to give you the answer back.
Right.
If you heard it
what
somewhere,
I was kind of hoping for is that I would ask like a little more details that you wouldn't be used to, like, answering. Because I know like when you do a lot of interviews, I'm sure you probably get a little tired too of saying the same shit too.
Well, this is why I don't do a lot of interviews, dude. Like,
yeah.
To agree to do your interview, I watched what you do and the questions that you asked, and it was intriguing to me that you asked those questions. That's why I did it. But you don't see me in a lot of interviews.
Yeah, I know. And then also when I see you do interviews, you seem like not the most comfortable per se. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like,
no,
like some people love to talk. So like, you can tell they like to do it. You know, like you seem like you're like not as much.
Well, I don't like to divulge too much information.
Got you. Okay.
I've been to media training.
Yeah. Do you still consider Fort Minor as some of the best times of your life?
Yeah, I would. For sure.
For sure. Man, yeah, that album is really dope. I know people still listen to it today. Like I've talked to people that still listen to it, for sure.
I thought the mixtapes were fire. The Fort Minor mixtapes were really good.
Yeah,
I thought.
the We Major, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like even Apathy was on that mixtape too.
So it was Self. Like it was like kids in a candy store. Like, so Mike was like, do you want to do this song with Joel Santana? I was like, fuck yeah. But self-titled was like, me and Self were big Dipset fans. And so I was like, yo, I got to put Self on this shit. I called Self. I was like, yo, you want to be on this song with Santana? He was like, fuck yeah. Fucking, So, it was just fun, like doing shit like that with Lupe Fiasco and shit. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's like it's cool because like you guys, I felt like for that album and the mixtapes and stuff, like you guys got to work with not necessarily underground artists, like, a little more mainstream, but at least like some of them were still more lyricists. They appreciated the underground scene,
Right.
like a Lupe and everything. So that was dope, man. So it was kind of like Mike served as like the bridge, you know what I mean? Between the two worlds.
Yeah, he did for sure.
When you guys did Fort Minor, was it contracted already that you guys signed to Machine Shop already? Or was it more like you guys did it and it was like so successful that now we're going to go ahead and sign?
No, we had already signed. We signed our deals before the album came out. They weren't going to let the album come out without us being signed to something.
But at the time you guys were working on the music, you guys weren't signed yet, right?
No. No. We started working. I mean, it happened kind of casually. Mike was like, hey, I'm doing this shit. Like, you guys want to jump on it? So we did it. We were just doing demos.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got a little more serious. And then I guess, I don't know, dude. Like when we didn't remember the name, like, I don't even know that that's a hit song. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just putting the verse down. And then by the time it gets to whoever at Warner Brothers, it's like, oh, this is a fucking smash. Let's go. So then we started getting offers and stuff like that from Warner Brothers to sign with them. So we signed, So we ended up signing with Warner Brothers.
But after the song came out, though, you saw how big it was, though, right? I mean, you at least were able to pay attention and remember that part?
Yeah, I saw it, but
like every sports channel pretty much, bro. Like, every like fucking football, like every like thing is like that song.
Yeah. Like I noticed that it was getting played a lot in sports and shit like that. But, like you never really, you don't really know what it is until it's over. Like you'd have to have a hit record to even understand what I'm saying.
Mm.
When it's done, and you're like, damn, that shit was fucking big, like years later. But when you're in the middle of it, you're moving so much that you don't know. You're in hotels, you're doing shows, whatever. Nobody ever treats me any differently. Maybe they treat Mike like that, but I'm just the dude. I'm this fucking side piece and shit. Like I'm not the man.
Got you.
And
also social media was different at that time too. Like
right.
It's not like it is now where it's like clearly like you'll see like posts that says like, oh, it's like really blowing up, like, on that kind of level, or like people making a real big deal. I mean, at that time, what was there? MySpace and Facebook?
Right. So I didn't know. I wasn't on that shit like crazy. Like I didn't really see any of that. Obviously when we do the shows, the crowds would be crazy and shit like that. We had crazy shit happen when like we would go, like we flew to Thailand. We were in Bangkok and it was like the fucking Beatles, dude. Like, fucking, they wouldn't let us get off the plane because there were so many fans inside of the airport because they let them do that over there. Like they don't do that here. But it was crazy, dude. They're just jammed in the airport with signs and all kinds of stuff. So we did our immigration on the plane, come straight off the plane into a caravan surrounded by police motorcycles that jam us through Bangkok. Bangkok's one of the most congested cities on the planet. And they're blocking the streets for us. Like the president's there or something. Going to like the hotel where like the king and queen is, Thailand's like a monarchy and they have like a special hotel for that. It's just wall to wall marble. It was us and G Unit. We were on tour with G Unit in 50. And so like we walk into the hotel and there's ice sculptures of us and shit. Like as soon as you walk through the entrance, there's an ice sculpture of Fort Minor and 50 Cent and shit. That that type of shit is huge. Like landed in China, and like there's just so many things. We had to push our way through baggage claim. There's so many fans. Then you get in the car, and then they're in cabs following you in the cab and playing your music out the window and showing signs out the window. You know, like stuff like that is like big. But I thought that was only, I mean, that was really in the rest of the world. In America, they don't treat you like that. So it's hard to tell in America if it's just popping or not.
But, you know, for you at that time to see that kind of interaction with like people that barely speak English, obviously at the shows, they're probably singing the words like word for word, right?
Yeah.
You know, or mouthing it at least or whatever. What was that experience like for you to see that?
Well, I'll tell you a crazy one. So we're performing in Malaysia. And Malaysia is a majority Muslim country. So 5 minutes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So like the women wear like, you know, the head, like not like what they do in other Muslim countries. Like you see their faces and stuff, but their heads are covered. And so we were there, and 5 minutes before we go on, our tour manager says to me, "Oh, by the way, it's a Muslim country. You can't cuss. Like if you cuss, you could get arrested." I was like, "Oh shit, how am I gonna remember not to cuss?" And so like before we hit the stage, we had to wait so 10,000 people could do prayer. Like they did their prayers and stuff, and then we hit the stage or whatever. But anyways, I'm on stage and I'm rapping, and then these girls are in the front row, and they're rapping all the words, even the cuss words.
Wow.
So that was kind of a trip.
What was it like touring with G Unit though? Did you have any interactions with them?
Yeah, man, them dudes are mad cool. They were super cool, like all the way around. Their security was cool. 50 was cool. I mean, like as soon as we got to Thailand, the promoters invited us to this dinner. It was a long ass table, and it was just all us and all G Unit. We just sat there, ate together. 50 got pizza. There was all kinds of food on the table that we had never seen before. So some people were like apprehensive about eating it, but 50 had a whole pizza. And so I went to the bathroom, and I had walked by 50 pizza, and I was like, "Oh shit, you got pizza." He's like, "Yeah, man, you want one? I have to make you one right now." I was like, you know, but I felt nervous if 50's talking to me. I was like, no, I'm good. So I go back to the end of the table to my side, and I said, 50 got pizza down there. He asked me if I wanted one. I said, no. They're like, fuck that, go get a pizza. I was like, yo, Pip, can you get another pizza? yeah. Bring them a pizza down there. Like, no, they were super cool. Like 50, this is a trippy one. Like we were in Taiwan. Big ass stuff. Dude, it was I don't know how many people were there. It seemed like 100,000 people there. And we're performing. It's just a sea of people. And I'm doing my shit, and I'm rapping. I look at the side of the stage, and 50 just sitting there watching. He's watching as I'm rapping. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I turn it on extra fucking hard because 50's watching. I'm like, yo, I'm going to show off now. And after I get off stage, 50 was like, yo, come back to the dressing room and shit. I want to say what's up, whatever. So we did. We go back to the dressing room, take a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. And he was like, I didn't really have any idea who you guys were, but I didn't know you guys were coming like that because we had a full band. You know, we have all kinds of stuff, you know, background singers and shit. So, yeah, it was cool touring with those guys.
That's dope, man. Wow. And then obviously he became at that time he was already huge, right? This is what, 2005, 2006?
Yeah, 2005, 2006. He was already big.
Yeah, so the Massacre was already out. He already sold tons of records off of that second album. Wow.
Well, the thing was like, so like 50 in the States was the biggest thing. But in overseas, he wasn't as big as he is like in the United States. So when we got over there, it wasn't like we were opening for him. It was like both we were at the same level as far as like co-headlining. Yeah.
So what made you guys want to sign to a major at that time? Was it like a big advance? Was it like just a different opportunity?
I just felt like it was go time. Like, you know, like when everything's kind of working in your favor, like you already got a hit record out. You know, when you got Linkin Park behind you, you know, people that we essentially kind of grew up with. So we trusted them, you know, as opposed to like somebody we didn't know, you know, and we just thought that this was our best shot, you know, and then we put out a new Styles of Beyond record, and then the Fort Minor shit would translate into some Styles of Beyond success. But that didn't happen, but whatever. That was the plan anyway.
Right. In 2007, you guys put out Razor Tag, which was a mixtape hosted by DJ Green Lantern. But then it also became an EP too, right? Like a couple of the songs?
I don't know. Maybe. Like, I don't know. I don't recall that.
Well,
you could be right.
Okay, so you guys end up leaving Machine Shop in 2008. You guys became frustrated after having finished the album for a while, and neither Machine Shop or Warner was really pushing it at that time.
Right.
So were you guys having talks with Mike or the label regarding the release? Like, what's going on? Like,
I mean, what really happened is like record labels will randomly fire 400 people.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that were there when we signed were no longer there. And these are people that really liked us and, you know, they were behind us. But once they changed out the staff, like you had to reintroduce yourself to a whole bunch of people that didn't really know or didn't really even care about Styles and Beyond. And at that point, we're like 2 years removed from the success of Fort Minor. So, you know, if you don't act quick, you know, you'll miss your window. And that's kind of what happened. We missed our window.
Yeah, because ideally after Fort Minor, like you guys should have came out like pretty soon after, right? And bank off the success of that.
Well, here's the thing. So we kind of did, like we were kind of ready to go. So then the Transformer movie comes out, and we had a song called Second to None.
Right. I remember that.
Had Mike Shinoda on it. This song was a banger. Like this shit could have been big. And Transformer movie came out through Warner Brothers anyways. So we're on the soundtrack. The song got Shinoda on it. We're just coming off of Remember the Name. I suggested, yo, let's put this out for a single, do a video. We could maybe use the fucking movie budget or something, you know, to make a real big video out of this. And they were like, nah. And at that point, I was like, oh, that's a wrap, dude. Like, if you don't want to do this with this big ass record, like this is the biggest record we have off our new album. If you're not willing to do that for us, then I want to leave because you guys ain't really behind us like that.
And it should have been like not even a thought. Why wouldn't you guys do that? That should have been in the fucking trailer too of the movie or something. You know what I mean? Like, because like it's like you're washing one hand with the other. Like it's like really helping the whole thing. All ways of it, you know?
Yeah, it was a no-brainer to me. I was like, let's do this. And they were just like not into it. So I was like, oh, okay, I see where we're going here. At this point, that would be like my second or third record deal. So I was like, oh, I've seen this fucking play before. Like, we got to get out of here.
Right. And like you were saying before, like, you know, the new people that came in, they weren't there with you guys every step of the way as you're creating the album and getting like little updates and stuff. So they're not invested the same way that the people that were there watching the process happen as well. Right.
Right. No, they don't really care. They're already on to the next one.
Right. So you guys ended up being able to leave with your album.
Yeah.
Right. And was there any animosity towards Mike when you guys left?
Not from my end. And you know, Mike, I think had a hand in getting us released with our album.
Right.
So, that's cool. It is what it is, man. Like he's not responsible for our lives. There is shit that we could have done better that we didn't. On my last album, Thanks for the Memories, I have a song called I Did It to Myself.
Right. And that's what I was just about to ask you about too.
It talks about that situation. So a lot of it was our fault. Some of it was their fault. Some of it was our fault. And that's just the way shit goes, though. Like, whatever. Like, he's not responsible for me. He's not my daddy. So, you know, I don't have any hard feelings towards him.
So you guys end up leaving and you guys get to keep the album and everything, but it takes a while before you guys end up even putting out that album. What is the hold up during that time? Was it because you started working on the project with Scoop and Apathy?
No, the thing is just we didn't really care. Like, that album for us was dead. It was old, and it kind of just carried bad memories. So,
got you.
You know, it was dated at that point, we thought. The only reason we put it out is because Self-Titled convinced us to, you know, and he helped us put it out. So he was like, yo, I'll help you do it. You can put it out through Demigodz label, you know, whatever. And he was like, it's just fucking sitting there doing nothing. You might as well put it out. I was like, all right, well, you're probably right. Let's just throw it out there.
And you guys changed the name of the title, right? Because the album was originally named what? Rocket?
Rocket Surgery, yeah. No, this is a title we were floating around, but it was always Reseda Beach. By the time we were on Warner Brothers, it was Reseda Beach, but it was just Rocket Surgery was one of the titles we were floating around.
So yeah, in 2012, you guys finally released Reseda Beach, and you put it out on Dirty Version Records, which is Apathy and Self-Titled's label. Now, how do you feel that the album was received at that point?
I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention. Like, to me, it didn't really matter. We were just throwing it out there. Like, I wasn't looking for a good response. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't holding my breath, waiting for someone to be like, oh, you killed that shit. It had bad memories attached to it, so I didn't really care. And I don't think it got much of reception anyway. No,
the stuff I read about it, people seem pretty happy about it. They said that, you know, it was worth the wait from the people that the reviews that I read.
All right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. But in 2009, you released Uzi Does It with Apathy and Scoop DeVille under the new group name Get Busy Committee. How did you guys become a group?
You know, we were just working together. So App had just got out of his deal with Atlantic. I just got out of Warner Brothers, and Scoop was young. So, you know, me and Scoop lived right next to each other. So I'd be over there all the time working on shit with him. And then I would play beats for App that Scoop had done. And then, you know, we just started recording together just for fun, just wilding out too. Cause we were so free to do whatever we wanted to do that's exactly what we did. We didn't have to adhere to no label telling us what to do. So we were just wilding out. And I think App's the one that said, yo, we should call ourselves the Get Busy Committee. And they were like, perfect, let's go.
And at that time, would you say that you guys were, because I've heard you say in interviews before a little bit, that you guys were all a little bit jaded by the industry?
Yeah, we did. We weren't interested in the industry. We wanted to do something completely different. And so, you know, we just kind of pulled our friends together. Like Shinoda was an early investor in Get Busy Committee. He was like, don't take this shit to a label. My man Two-Tone, who started Born and Raised, the clothing company. He's also a director. So he was doing our videos for us, styling us, and just pushing the project as well. Like, so, you know, my man Ian Rogers, he was managing us. Ian has extensive work with the Beastie Boys, and just Google Ian Rogers. Like, he was riding with us too. He was managing us. So we had really good pieces in place for Get Busy Committee.
And you guys did something that was really dope, where you had the Uzi shaped USB drive that you released the album onto.
Right.
How did you guys come up with that idea?
Well, the concept behind that is, at that point, I was like, I mean, I don't know who thought of it first. Maybe it was Ian. But the thing is this. So remember back in the days, albums used to sell for like $20. Like back in the 90s and shit, you buy a whole album, be like 15, 20
Tower
bucks.
Records, all those places, Sam Goody.
Come in that big long ass packaging and shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a way to, so if you sell somebody a Uzi, I was in the business of selling Uzis, not selling music. So you sell the Uzi for $20. I don't care what you do with the USB. You can delete the fucking album if you want and put pictures of your kids on there. I don't care. Either way, you're going to give us $20. So, you know, we sold all of them shits too. We sold a lot of them. I mean, we were getting orders from like police departments that wanted them for their staff. They would just delete the album or keep the album on there and then put little data on there that they could do in their car. That's real shit, dude. Like, I mean, it was just a cool way to sell an album. We were like, everything we did, we wanted to do something different than what everybody else was doing.
So it was like a functional product that housed your project on. So like you could still use it basically regardless, even, I see what you're saying. Multi-purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, like what they say is in business, you got to give somebody 3 reasons for them to buy your product. And, you know, when you give somebody a CD, you really only got one use unless you're going to do coke off it. That gives you 2 fucking uses. But, you know, with a Uzi, you could do a bunch of things with that.
Right.
So, you know, you could collect it. You can use it. You can listen to the album. You could put your own data on it. You can use it as a keychain. There's all kinds of reasons for it. It's just a cool thing to have. So we started changing our mindset. Instead of doing what everybody in the industry was doing, let's do what we want to do.
Do you still have any left?
I probably have 1.
Wow. Okay.
In my junk drawer.
Well, okay. So this next part, man, it seems like nobody really wants to answer this. Why the second album didn't come out? Opening ceremony.
Well, that album was so good too. And
I know you said it was like the best thing.
Yeah, that shit would have really like put us over the top. I feel like we would have been the biggest group out had we had dropped that record. It was nothing but hits, top to bottom. I mean, hits, not like fucking radio hits, but like hits for us. It's kind of hard to say. Like, I mean, to be honest, there's just a lot of shit going on at the time. Like, there's a lot of beef, like internally. Like, App was going through it with his health. So he was having problems with his health. And so that was affecting the group. Because
that's right. During that time, he was having anxiety and panic attacks, right?
Yeah, but all that was stemming from his pancreas. Mm-hmm. He had pancreatitis, and then he had his pancreas removed or something, or a piece of his pancreas removed. Anyways, he was really going through it. So what happened is me and Scoop kept going. Like, me and Scoop kept recording. We were doing songs without App. But the way I was looking at it was kind of like when Pimp C went to jail, Bun B kept the flag going. You know what I'm saying? So when Pimp C got out of jail, it'd be a seamless transition. He'd be ready to go. But I think App may have looked at it. You'd have to ask him, but maybe he was looking at it like, oh, we were just kicking him to the curb and doing our own thing. But that wasn't the case. So that caused a bit of animosity at that time. So, you know, whatever. One person not getting along with the other, 2 not getting along with one. There's a whole bunch of little stupid shit like that. But yeah, eventually that was it. Didn't come out.
But obviously you and App ended up squashing it because then, like, you know, you appeared on Killmatic in 2013, right? But
yeah, it wasn't nothing to squash. Like, we didn't have any beef. Just
right.
You know.
But then why not just put out the album though?
I don't know. I mean, these are questions we ask ourselves. Like, when me and App talk, like,
it still could happen, right?
But why? Like, this shit's dated now. Like, I don't think anybody cares. We'd be better off just doing a whole new record.
I don't know about that. It could be like some lost files type of shit. If you advertise it the right way, could work, man.
Maybe.
You know, especially in the underground community, people love that shit.
Maybe. Like, shit. Every once in a while, I'll just float it to people. They'll be like, oh man, I wish I could hear that Get Busy Committee album. You know, there you go. Listen to that. The homies know what it is. But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe one of these days, but I can't call it, dude. Like, a lot of shit happened back then. And like I said, my memory is foggy. And I don't want to point fingers at people
right
with a foggy memory. You know what I'm saying? It could be.
But you're still cool with Scoop, though?
I'm cool with everybody. I don't have any problem with anybody.
That's good, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you get older, shit changes. Like, I don't talk to Shinoda. Like, I haven't talked to Shinoda in years. But it's not because I have a problem with him. It's just life takes you in a different direction. Your priorities become different. I own a bar and I own a restaurant.
Right.
I do different shit with my day than other people do. I haven't talked to Scoop in years, but I don't have any problem with Scoop. You know, I talk to App a lot, but, you know, it's because he reaches out, dude. I'm kind of a fucking hermit, dude. I don't really reach out to a lot of people. Like, I stay to myself. I stay out of the way. And that's just the way I am. That's my personality. I'm not trying to be that person. It's just the way I am. So
it's interesting because it's pretty on brand for you, because the reason why you originally was a DJ is because you didn't want to be a front man.
Exactly. That's my personality. I'm not I'm not a front man. I got moved into that situation where I became a front man and became comfortable with it to a certain extent. But, you know, I like to just be low key.
So I can only assume for you, when you do social interactions and stuff like that, it's probably really draining for you then after a while.
It's draining. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's draining. You know, but I got used to it with Fort Minor, like, because we were doing so much press and all that kind of shit. So I got used to it. But, you know, I am the way I am. Like, I haven't talked to Talk in a couple years. I got nothing but love for Talk, you know, but he's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing.
Right. Well, before we get into that, right? So in 2015, there seems to be a misunderstanding between you and Mike Shinoda when he releases the song Welcome. You had recorded a verse for the song, but it ends up getting released without your verse. You take to Twitter, I think, to express your frustration, but then you guys get on a call and you clear it up and announce to everyone on Twitter everything is squashed and good. Was this like a lesson for you as far as, like, you know, expressing things publicly, or how did that situation unfold for you?
Well, the way it unfolded is, like, you know, he had that beat and he hit me up and he said, what do you think about this beat? I don't know what I want to do with it, but it doesn't sound like a Linkin Park record. I said, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to do something on it? I'll do something on it. He said, yeah, put something on it. So I did. And then I knew the song was called Welcome. And then I was in Hawaii on vacation, and I thought I knew the record was going to come out. And when I landed back in LA, like, my phone all of a sudden is blowing up. Fort Minor Welcome, whatever. Welcome, Mike Shinoda. I listened to the song and I'm waiting to hear my verse because I wanted to see how it was mixed and all that kind of shit, whatever. And I felt like I killed that verse too. And my verse wasn't on it. So I was like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, so people on, you know, Twitter or whatever it was talking about, like, I don't know, I think I had said, like, I'm on that record, and they're like, where's your verse at? And I had said something just off the cuff, like, I don't know. It was a surprise to me too. I thought I was on the shit. And then, like, Linkin Park fans will grab anything you say and magnify it and blow it up 1,000%. And so,
right, because they had different fan websites at that time too, right? Like,
yeah, they do. Like, they're deep.
LP Live and, like, I forgot what was the other one, LP something. Yeah,
LPU and all that. Like, shout out to them. Like, they've been nothing but great to me, like, throughout the years too. So I love the LP fans because they fuck with me too.
Right.
So this is nothing against them, but they take anything you say and then becomes a bigger thing than it actually is. And so then they start kind of, I don't know, it starts kind of morphing into this like tension between me and him. So I was like, let's just get on a fucking call and dead this shit. Cause like, this is stupid. It's a miscommunication is what it is. So,
right.
You know, and that's what it was. And so we got on the phone and I said, I thought this was coming out. He said, no, you know, I wanted you on the remix. I said, I didn't know anything about a remix because you didn't say remix when I was talking to you. Oh, I thought you knew it was for the remix. No. But then, like, I feel like I got tired of being the remix guy. Like, I'm on, like, mad Linkin Park remix shit. And I was just like, I want to, like, my last big record was Fort Minor. Remember the name. Like, am I not good enough to be on the big record, but good enough to be on the, you know, the side record? So that's kind of how I felt. But we ended up clearing it up. And it's fine. I don't care.
And you ended up being in the music video too.
Yeah, he invited me down to come down to the video just to show everybody that there wasn't no hard feelings. So I did.
And I don't remember, did they release the remix with you on it?
No, like, so I ended up talking to him and, you know, about doing a remix. You know, I was like, all right. He's like, but I still want you to do the remix. I said, all right, cool. Who are we going to put on the remix? He's like, I'm talking to this person, talking to that person, whatever. I said, all right, well, let me know. And then I guess it just never panned out. So that was that.
So according to Reddit, right, people believe that Talk was still bitter towards Mike over what happened. And you were more forgiving of Mike because you had a closer relationship with Mike. You knew him first.
Maybe.
And they said that Talk sold his machine shop chain and called it machine shit. And there's other reports that on Instagram he listed in his like about me section that he was a backup dancer for Fort Minor.
That's just Talk's personality though. That's his sense of humor. Like he just, you know, these are questions you have to ask him. His experience, we have a shared experience with everything, but he also has his own personal experience about
right. It. People interpret things differently too.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, I can't answer for him, you know, but Talk is his own man. Like, you know, how he feels is how he feels. And I don't take anything away from that. Like, I think his feelings are genuine, but he feels the way he feels and I feel the way I do.
So you guys have had conversations where you're like, I understand that you feel that way. I don't feel that way, but I respect that you feel that way based off of the experience. No, we never had conversations like that. You know, he does his interviews and he says what he says and I say what I say, but I've never like called him and be like, yo, what are you doing? Why do you feel like this? Like, that's not our type of relationship. And I don't make excuses for any of my dudes either. You know what I'm saying? Like, if App says something out of pocket or if Talk says something that I don't agree with, I don't jump in the middle of it and you know, make excuses for them. They do what they do, you know. He's still gonna be my boy. Right.
You know.
But you've spoken about the difficulties of mixing friendship with business.
It's terrible.
Especially when it's on like massive levels amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy for sure at all, but it just comes with the business, I guess, you know?
Because, you know, the fans, they feel like you guys weren't properly credited for the work with Fort Minor. Do you feel like you were properly credited?
Yeah.
Financially too, everything? You felt like you received what you deserved?
I mean, that's debatable. You could say yes, you could say no, you know, but that's something that's in the past. Like there's nothing. Would I have negotiated a better deal or, you know, had I done this better or done that better? Yeah, all these things are learning experiences. And, you know, you'll rot if you kick yourself for every bad decision you made in this business, you'll kill yourself.
Good lesson right here.
Yeah, like you can't let the things that you did or didn't do in the past dictate what you do in the future, because you'll be a bitter ass old man sitting there bitching about stupid shit that doesn't matter anymore. So I'm going to get mine regardless. I always do. It doesn't, I'm my own man. I make my own bread. I carve my own path. I don't rely on other people to do that for me. There was a time in my life when I did, or I thought that was the way to do it. Like, oh, if we just stick up underneath Linkin Park, we'll be good. But that's not the reality of it, though. You have to do the work. Like, they're not going to do all the work and you're going to get all the bread for doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you could say this, you could say that. There's points to all of it. But there's no sense of pointing fingers and blaming people, because without taking your own responsibility for it as well, you know?
And I think that sums up that song that you wrote, I Did It to Myself, right? Pretty much. Which is really dope. So like, I feel like you've been real consistent with what you're saying.
Because that's how I feel. Like I'm not just saying it to blow smoke.
Right.
That's how I feel. You know, you at a certain point, you really have to look. You have to take a look at what's really going on, and take some of the responsibility. It's real easy to kick it to somebody else, like, oh, Mike didn't look out for this, and Mike didn't do that, you know, or Talk didn't do this, or App didn't do that. That's the easy way to do it. But, you know, when you have to take a look in yourself and take responsibility, that's kind of when you can get over it and figure out where your next move is going to be. Everybody has pitfalls in this industry. I don't think there's anybody you haven't talked to that wouldn't have the same exact issues that I've went through. It's just the way you deal with it is different, you know?
For sure, man. And, you know, I love this this mature talk, you know what I'm saying? Because it definitely is what I like to call grown man talk, because taking accountability for your part in it. Yes, maybe there's things other people could have done better, but, you know, you can't change that, right? But you can change what you did, how you feel about it, the way you view it. And, you know, you, like you said, maybe the financial part you could debate or whatever, but also you were presented certain opportunities, experiences, traveling overseas and rocking these tours and stuff like that, that you might not have gotten, you know, without this situation too. Right. So like there's an overall experience.
Right. Now, if somebody would have approached me from the very beginning with Fort Minor and said, look, you're not going to get any money for this, but you're going to travel the world. You'll get your own record deal as Styles of Beyond. This will be great promotion for Styles of Beyond. You'll get to see all these countries you would never see before, you know, all that kind of shit. Most people would took that deal anyway. You know what I'm saying? You still get something out of it.
It's the expectation.
It's the expectation. Yeah. And then there also, when you come into the industry, into this business, there's an expectation of what you think, because you're so used to seeing on TV people flashing and being on the Instagram, flashing and all this kind of shit. You realize that that's not really the reality. Like that, you could count them on one hand how many people are really balling out like that.
That's why I remember MTV Cribs was even fake. A lot of those people, they rented out places where they weren't even really living.
Of course, because you have to keep up that appearance of being successful. And I get why they do it. But the reality of it is, like, you know, there's a long list of things you got to do to actually get to the bread. And it's not easy. And you think it is. You think a hit song is just going to bring that revenue in. That's just one piece of it.
Appreciate you for sharing that, man. I think that's something that a lot of people would find very helpful. So in 2016, you released your solo album, Tanks for the Memories. Can you talk about why you chose that title specifically in the concept of the album?
Tank being a metaphor for blowing things up. So I'm bringing tanks for the memories. So everything in the past, like we were just talking about, all those situations, I was destroying it. And start is basically a metaphor for starting over again.
And so for the album, you got Talk appearing on a few songs on this album. Now, are these old songs that were recorded before, or like you actually recorded specifically for this album?
No, we did them for this album. I reached out to him and asked if he would get on it, and he was like, hell yeah.
How do you feel about not how the public, received it? Because I know you don't really pay attention to that as much, but your overall happiness with the project.
I love it. I love that album. I think it's great. Like that one, and Get Busy Committee, probably my favorite bodies of work that I've done. Production wise, lyric wise, like I think that was a great album. I like it.
Was it a different experience for you to do a solo album from doing a group album, or you enjoyed that freedom more?
Oh, it's hard to say. And it's a lot harder to do it by yourself because there's only one of you. There, you don't get to just write like a 16-bar verse and a hook and then call it a day. You got to write the whole thing from top to bottom. But that's what I'm saying. You got to put the work in. Like all these things are, rap isn't a training ground. It increases your threshold for pain when you put yourself in positions that you're not used to. When you're making an album, at least from my perspective, it feels like you're about to climb a mountain. And when you look at the very top of it, it seems impossible. But when you do it step by step, song by song, it starts to take shape. And by the time you look up, you're damn near at the mountain. A lot of people don't even take the first step because they're scared.
But because you did more of the work, you didn't have to split the money as much as in a group though, right? So that part was a little nice.
There ain't no money to split anyways. I'm telling you, like this shit didn't sell no crazy amounts of records. Like I didn't get like crazy dough off it. The money doesn't ever matter. It never mattered to me at all. That's part of my problem. I always thought other people would handle my business for me or, look out for me or whatever. I never did it for the money. So, I put out Thanks for the Memories just because I wanted to, because I'm a creative. It's art to me. So that's it. I mean, it brings in money, it brings in royalties, but it's not significant enough to matter,
Now, when did you open your bar?
In 2023. No, 2022.
I feel like it's easier to do a passion project when you're not depending on it for money. Like when if some money comes out of it, then that's cool. But like, you know what I mean? Like you're not feeling in a desperate position.
No, that's true. That's true.
So like, but at this time it's 2016. So you don't have your successful bar yet and everything, right? So you weren't feeling any pressure for like this album to do well. Well, I guess at this point you're pretty seasoned already as far as like your expectations of like how a project is going to do.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not starving, it's like I get royalties. I get Fort Minor royalties. I get Styles Beyond royalties and stuff like that. So like, I'm not in a position where like a lot of rappers are where like the shit has to hit or they're going to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that wasn't the case for me. But the money is never the motivation. It's just, I want to get something out. I want to get something off my chest. I want to create something. It's just like when you get an urge to go do graffiti or something,
For sure, man. All right. So in 2017, you sent out a tweet of a screenshot of an email from Talk, and it seemed like you guys were going to be working on a new Styles of Beyond record, but it never materialized. In 2021, I heard you do an interview where you said that you guys were still together, but Talk lives in China. So what ended up happening?
I don't know. I can't call it. It's one of them things where like, I think we talked about it. It just never got off the ground.
So you guys didn't record anything?
No. So this came about like during the recording of Thanks for the Memories. We were like, yo, this feels good. Like we should keep going, But I think it was one of those like I wanted to be in the same place to record the record with them.
Right, because you record everything in your kitchen, right?
Yeah. So I wanted to be in the same place. It didn't have to be in my kitchen, but we could be at a studio, whatever.
Just not emailing.
Yeah, I didn't want to do an email record because it would sound too structured, and you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to have the ability to change shit on the fly and stuff like that. I think that's what happened.
Now, what is the current status of your relationship with Talk? And like, when was the last time you guys spoke?
It's been a couple of years since I talked to him. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's up to. You know, me and him are going to be forever connected. Wow, through music. And I got nothing but love for Talk. I always will. And you know, I'd like to work with him on something again. I'd do another Styles and Beyond album in a drop of a hat. Like no doubt about it. I would do it. Because I think now, I think we're better than we ever have been.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I produce too, like, you know, he produces as well. Like we could do it ourselves.
So there was no falling out or anything like that?
No.
Not at all. It's just one of those situations where people just go their separate ways in life. It's not personal. It's just, that's what happens sometimes.
No, exactly. Like shit, man. Like we were forced to spend a good portion of our lives together. You know, we were attached, you know, everywhere we went. We had everything we did, we had to do together. So when music is not your primary focus anymore, you end up doing other things in life that don't include the other person. And that's fine. Like it's not beef. It's just the natural progression of life as you get older.
For sure. Everybody has different responsibilities as you get older. You get married, you have kids, you know, you want different things. And it's not the same anymore. People grow to be different people too. You know, it's just how it is. I just know that as like rap fans, we're like a little selfish and we're like, oh, I want to see you guys back together. But it's like so much easier said than done.
I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah.
It's easy too. It can be easy. I mean, I'm here. Like, if he wants to do it, I'll do it.
Now, is there a reason why he left the United States?
I don't know. You'd have to talk to him about that. I can't speak for him on that. I know he had a lot more opportunities out there, but he hasn't really divulged that information to me, like the exact reasons why he left. I know he went to Thailand, he went to China. He's just out there doing what he feels is best for him.
Because he's not even on social media anymore, right?
Yeah, he is. He's on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he goes by Ribcat.
Oh, okay, yeah, I gotta look him up then.
Yeah.
Man, that would have been dope to have interview both of you guys together.
Right.
That would have been crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, shout out to Talk, man. I hope that something happens eventually in the future, you know what I'm saying? Because I think the fans would love to see it, man.
I hope so. I mean, we're gonna do something with Fat Beats. Like we're gonna do an anniversary release of 2000 Fold.
Oh, nice.
Which we haven't really hashed out exactly what that's gonna entail, but I have some ideas of what I want to do, and I think it's gonna be a dope release. So maybe that's the catalyst that brings us together, you know?
Yeah, man, for sure. Shout out to Talk, man.
Shout out to Talk for sure.
And I really like that this was a positive conversation. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of times people automatically assume that it was something bad that happened, and you know, but like I like that it was mature in the way that you approached it and everything.
Yeah, for sure, man. I have none but love but for my people.
All right. So on July 20th, 2017, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park passes away from suicide. Can you talk about your relationship with Chester?
I knew Chester for a long time. I mean, we toured together with Linkin Park in the early days when they were just doing clubs. Maybe they're some of their earliest tours. And me and Chester had a good relationship. Like he really used to like my shit. I would, get burned CDs of stuff I'm working on, stuff we're working on. And he would actually listen to this shit. Like he had a radio in his kitchen, like a car stereo type thing in his kitchen, I guess. and he would put it in there while he's eating breakfast or whatever. And then he would come see me. He'd be like, yo, you said this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, he was really good at Guitar Hero, that shit, Guitar Hero. He probably could have won a contest with that shit. That guy used to rip at that game. You know, being on tour bus playing Guitar Hero, and I got nothing but good memories. I was in the Cribs episode that they did at Chester's house. I'm in that episode.
Oh shit! I gotta watch that again. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they might have cut me out a lot, but I was there.
And that was his real house.
That was his real house. Yeah.
Okay. Man, I mean, yeah. Well, they made a shitload of money off that first album. I'm assuming.
Hell yeah!
They said it's like 28 times platinum worldwide or something like that. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
10 diamond or something like that.
Right,
like that's crazy.
Yeah, but. What was your reaction when you got the news that he had passed away?
I was shocked. You know, like everybody else was. My reaction was probably the same as everybody else. You know, it's something it's super tragic. Obviously, I don't imagine what he was going through that would make him do something like that. But I don't know everything. Right. And Chester always. He wore a smile on his face, you know, so it was kind of hard to tell what maybe he was really going through, because he always seemed happy on the outside.
He was so talented too, bro. Like, you know, one of the things that I loved watching was the behind the scenes of when they did the Collision course, and how he had to harmonize the vocals over the H to the Izzo part. Yeah. Instead of screaming it, he's like, I'm just an angry white guy, man. Like, you know, like that part was always so funny to me, you know, like it's definitely such a tragic, sad situation. And I know that as fans, people are still miss him to this day, you know, just like a one of one, bro. Like, did you call like Mike immediately when you found out, or like how was the conversations with the band?
No, I left it alone for probably a week, because I knew that their phones were blowing up and all that. And I couldn't even imagine the shit that they were going through. So I left him alone. And then eventually I sent Mike a message. I sent him an email, you know, giving him my condolences and stuff like that. I don't want to be all in their business.
For sure, man. Rest in peace to Chester. Damn.
Rest in peace.
What is the current status of the Demigodz?
I mean, I don't know. We're still the Demigodz, just not working on anything as a group currently. You know, we're all still Demigodz.
Mm-hmm. You'd be down to do a new project.
Yeah.
How has it been like for you, like with like the lineup changes over the years and everything like that?
Well, there was the lineup before me,
right?
And then there's the lineup with me. But before me doesn't really matter, because I didn't really know them, you know. So the lineup that I'm in is the only lineup I know. So to me, it's all. I mean, I'm in the longest lineup. Anyways, it's been going on for 25 years or something like that.
So your relationship with Self and Apathy are still strong. You still talk to them like on a regular basis, but it's just that you guys haven't spoken about doing a Demigodz project.
Yeah. I mean, me, App and Self talk all the time. Self mixed my new album. And, you know, Self helped me out with it.
He helped mix your album too.
Well, he tried, but you know, his ADD kicked in. I mean, we made it about an hour into the first song, and then he said, I gotta go take a shit and pick up my kids, and I'll call you back later and we'll finish it up. And I just never heard from him again. So I was like, I knew that was gonna happen anyway. So I called Self, and he was like, yo, just give it to me. I'll do it.
Wow, man. Well, shout out to Self and App, man. I know the fans would love to hear another project. With it being 12 years since the last project, how do you think that you guys would approach a new one, or how do you think it would sound now?
It'd be better than anything we ever dropped because all of us are actually at the top of our game. Like App's dropping the best albums of his life recently. Esoteric is at the top of his game. I'm at the top of my game. Self never falls off. You know, Motive is always going to be dope no matter what. Like, it doesn't go away. You only just get better. Some people fall off, but I think those people take long ass breaks from rap and then they forget what's going on and whatever. But yeah, I think if we did another record, I think it'd be phenomenal.
For you, in your own time, are you constantly like practicing, like whether it be a lyrical exercise or like you write a little here or something like that, or you only go in when you're thinking like, oh, I want to commit to doing an album right now?
No, like, so even on the album that I just did, like, I didn't know I was doing an album then either. Like, there's a whole fucking story behind that. Like, you know, so last year I got really sick. I have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis. And
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
No, it's all good. Everybody has their thing. This is my thing.
Right.
And so I was down pretty bad, you know, in the hospital. I was down to about 167 pounds, which is crazy skinny for me because I kind of ride around 205 usually. And so with inflammatory bowel disease, it's an autoimmune disease. So it doesn't just affect your intestines, it affects your joints, your eyesight, which is why I wear the glasses now. Mm-hmm. My eyesight deteriorated. I couldn't really walk. I had to walk on a cane for a little bit. And I was basically bedridden. I was getting blood transfusions. I was getting vitamin infusions every 3-4 days. I had to go to the hospital. So during that time, my birthday, June last year, I had just started becoming on the mend. I started taking these shots, take these Humira shots every 2 weeks in my stomach. It lowers my immune system to help me heal. During that time, on my birthday, my wife bought me a MacBook Pro. And hold on a second. My wife's coming up right now. So she bought me a MacBook Pro. And I was like, this is cool and all, but I don't really have a use for it. So I was like, let me learn how to record myself. Let me learn how to make beats. Sorry, there's a loud car going by. So let me learn how to make beats. So I had no idea how to do it. So I was going on YouTube, just watching hundreds and hundreds of videos on DAWs and, you know, what equipment people use and how to do it and this and that and the other thing. So I started making beats. At first, the beats were whack, and, you know, I would send them to App and a couple other friends to get advice and feedback and shit like that. And they started getting better and better and better. So I wanted to put them out, and I created an Instagram page called Hang 10 just for my beats. So it was like an alias I was going under. I didn't tell nobody I was making beats. I just created Hang 10 and I started dropping beats on there every day. They were whack and they started getting better and better and better. I started getting a bigger response on it. My views were going crazy. My you know, followers were getting up there.
Wait, did anyone know it was you? You didn't have your picture on there or anything, right?
No, they still don't know it's me. This is the first time I'm saying it.
Oh shit! Wow, exclusive.
So they weren't gonna know until the album drops. So the album drops actually tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, I wanted somebody to rap over my beats, but I didn't think they were good enough yet. But like they were good to me. I was like, oh man, this shit's tight. I was like, I wanted to rap over something just to hear myself on one of my beats. Just to hear a rapper on one of my beats. Hello, dear. So that's what I did. I started rapping to my beats, but I wasn't really. Go back in the house. Sorry, my dogs are out.
He was not talking to his wife that way, okay, guys? It was the dog, okay?
So I started putting down some lyrics just to hear a voice over them. I wasn't really concentrating on what I was saying too much. Just kind of just saying the first thing that pops in my head, like whatever the fuck song that I did with Shinoda. And so I was like, all right, let me put these on the Ryu page, just for fun, just to see what goes on. So my man Raw Dog did some videos for me, like to put the lyrics to the videos, and we put it out. And this shit got like 25,000 views on it. I was like, and people were asking like, yo, where can I get this? When are you gonna drop it and shit? I didn't even think about that. I was just like wanted to hear myself on something. I had no intention of dropping a record. Then I ended up doing another one and another one, another one. And I recorded a couple at my friend Wes Poland's place. He also helped mix the album with Self. Shout out to Wes. And so then I had about 6 songs, and Cheap Shot had a meeting with Chris Atlas over at Fat Beats about the Styles and Beyond project that I was just talking about, the anniversary release. And so he was like, oh, you should check out Ryu shit. And he was like, nah, we're not really signing nobody right now, da-da-da-da. But he sent them over a couple tracks. A couple weeks later, Chris calls me in and goes, yo, these songs are kind of making their way around the office. People are digging them. What are you doing with the album? I was like, I don't have the album. I'm just doing this shit for fun. He said, well, if you want to do an album, we'll put it out. So I was like, okay, cool. And so we did a deal. I did a deal with Fat Beats on my birthday, June 10th, 2025, which is exactly 1 year to the date from when I got my computer and tried to learn how to make beats. So within 1 year, I was completely focusing on making beats, all because I couldn't leave the house because I was sick. I did that whole album. And that's it. Like, the beats that are on this album are the first beats that I did. Like, I did it strictly just to see what I could do. And here we are today on the eve of my album dropping.
Wow, man. And the album is called Medium Raw.
Medium Raw, yeah.
Why that name?
Well, that name's not really that deep. It was like, I had like 50 other album titles that I wanted to do. And like me and my friend Alan, we play this game all the time. Like somebody will say something stupid, we'll be like, oh, that's an album title, you know? So anyways, I was in Palm Springs on my birthday. I was with my family. We were at a restaurant and my mom ordered a hamburger. And the guy says, well, how would you like that cooked? And she looks at me and she's like, I don't know. And I was like, what is this, the first time you ever ordered a fucking hamburger? Get it medium raw. And fucking we started laughing and shit. I was like, there's the album title. And so so I was kind of floating, like App was like, I was on the phone with him and he was like, what are you going to call the album? I was like, I don't know. I started rattling off different titles and shit. And so the first title was Reverse Engineering a Goat. And this is why, if you look at my album cover, there's me walking a goat. And I'm wearing the wolf. There's a lot of little subliminals in there and shit. Because there's the goat. And then I'm wearing a wolf poncho. It has a big wolf on it. And people remember from the Get Busy Committee days, we did a song called Opening Ceremony. And we did a video for that where I'm wearing a wolf head. Like a Native American wolf head. And so I gotten kind of known for that, for the wolf. And wolves eat goats. You know, so in a rap metaphor type way, you know, I'm eating the goats, the greatest of all times or whatever. App was like, nah, that's just corny. I was like, how about medium raw? He goes, ooh, I like that one. So I was like, all right, we'll go with medium raw.
That's dope, man. And you put it out through Fat Beats, right?
Yep, coming out through Fat Beats.
Right. Okay. So why Fat Beats and not on Dirty version, right?
Yeah, no, because you know, everybody knows Fat Beats is a legendary hip hop label. And I always liked the records that Fat Beats put out. And again, it was people who understand, not that I couldn't have put it out on Dirty Version, of course I could, but this was a good opportunity. Fat Beats just got bought by Rostrum Records, which is Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller, and all that. So Fat Beats is a little bigger of a look nowadays. You know, they got a budget. So they gave me a marketing budget and all that kind of stuff. And I just really like the dudes over there. Like, they were all really cool with me and they helped me out a lot. So I'm glad I went with Fat Beats on that. And I hope I can do another one with Fat Beats too. I love it over there.
That's dope, man. For sure. So last question. You're a Freemason, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk to us about how you got into that and what that experience has been like for you?
Well, I kind of got interested in it because Apathy became a Freemason. And I was staying at his house. I was there in Connecticut for his wedding. And I was staying at his crib. And he had a book on the table that said Freemasonry for Dummies. And I started like looking at it because I had all the preconceived notions about what a Freemason was. And, you know, it somewhat carries a negative connotation to it, to a lot of people. Like,
right. A lot of people think it's like Illuminati or something like that.
Exactly. But it's not Illuminati. And I wouldn't want to get myself into something like that anyway. So, you know, I came home. My other friend, Mark, I was talking to him about it. And Mark was like, dude, there's a lodge right next to my house in Long Beach. You know, I'm going to go check it out. So he went and checked it out. He's like, bro, you got to come down here. These dudes are dope. They're like our same age and everything, like cool ass dudes and shit. So I came down there. I just hit it off with all the guys there. And just cool people from all different backgrounds. And I wanted to go somewhere where nobody gave a shit if I rapped or anything. You know, the basis of Freemason is to build yourself into a better man. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build myself to the best man I can be, the best husband, the best father. And Freemasonry kind of gives you the tools for that. I'm not going to break down everything that goes into that because that's a long conversation. But yeah. And, you know, I'm still super good friends with all my brothers from the lodge. And that's it. That's how I got into it.
So in regards to like the misconceptions and everything like that, what do you say to the people that believe the hype per se?
That's cool. I mean, believe what you want. Like, that's one side of the story, but you don't know what a Freemason does until you check it out. And I'm not even telling people to go be Freemasons. Do what you want. But we know what we're about. We do a lot of charity work. We help a lot of people, and you know, we're good dudes. We can all rely on each other. And there's not a lot of places you can go in the world where people have your back 100% and it's not just fake bullshit. It's real. You know, so people can say whatever they want, but I would advise them to dive a little deeper and educate yourself on Freemasonry before you make a definite opinion. Because it doesn't have anything to do with the Illuminati.
And it's nothing to do with like religion either, right? Because there's like people of all religious backgrounds that are in it.
Exactly. Religion is something that divides men. Like we're not in the things that divide men. We want to bring men together.
All right, Ryu, man, I just want to thank you so much for your time, bro. Is there anything else you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
No, man, thank you. I appreciate the in-depth conversation. Your questioning was awesome. I haven't had an interview this good in years, so I appreciate you.
Ever.
Ever. So I appreciate that, man, for real. And yeah, go check out Medium Raw, dude. Like that shit is by the time this comes out, it's already available everywhere. You can get the vinyl or the CD at fatbeats.com. Go to Ryu, go to therealryu.com. Check me out over there. You can go on Spotify, get it wherever you want, but just go check it out. Let me know what you think.